Amateur StarCraft 2, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Jack's Amateur StarCraft League. Heatfist here. I'm going to be showing you today a simple Protoss Stratton build that any good Protoss player should know, up from the highest pro in Diamond League down to a new player who doesn't really know how to play Protoss yet. And the good thing about this build is that it's very versatile and very effective. And as I will be showing you here today, even a scrub like me can pull it off. So the basis of this build is 4 warp gates, and that inspires the name. It is called a 4 warp gate push. And this strat involves building 4 warp gates and then making a quick push with a proxy pylon or a warp prism into your opponent's base and hopefully catching them off guard and winning the game. Now to start off, this is a rule of thumb for any Protoss player, is 9 pylon and 12 gate. So that is putting down a pylon at 9, and a gateway at 12. Putting down my gateway now. It's one behind in supply than I usually do, but this strat's versatile, so it can adapt to a change. You can maybe later on throw down a robo, or maybe a Stargate, or anything. This is the base structure of basically any Protoss build or strat. So as you can see here, I tried to scout, but I was unaware that there was a wall here. So I sent my probe back, and I'm hopefully going to be pumping out some units with my gateway to take care of that. Another thing to note is that I've put down my assimilator. I usually go for a 14 assimilator, but as I said, the strat's versatile, and supply, though not vital, is somewhat important. So as you can see here, I'm pumping out a Zealot to hopefully take care of that obstacle in the way, and I can go out and put down my proxy pylon. Keeping your pylons up to date is another important thing that Protoss players usually miss. You cannot count the number of times I've heard people complain about you must build additional pylons, which is something that you never want to happen, especially when you're playing a league game. So putting down my cybernetics core here to get Warpgate research, and also putting down another gateway, what you want to try to do is queue up your gateways. So you put one down once you reach 12 supply, put down another while you're building your cybernetics core, and then build another 2 when your Warpgate research is about halfway done to 3/4 of the way done. And this is to ensure that all your warp gates are lined up at exactly the same time, so you can put on warp gate and make that push as fast as possible. As you can see here, using chrono boost to speed up the research, and that is vital to this strategy. Without that warp gate research coming out like that, the strategy will just fall apart, and there's no use in doing it really. As you can see here, I've stopped building probes, which is an error on my part, as Protoss players, probes are the base, or of everything basically. So you want to be constantly just putting out probes so you can get full saturation. Full saturation, to those of you who don't know, is 3 probes on any one assimilator, and then 2 to 3 probes on every mineral patch, just to maximize the amount of minerals and gas that you're getting per minute. I'm putting down a stalker out as well, just in case it goes for an early push with some kind of air unit, as Terran usually like to wall up and then put out some higher tech in hopes of catching your opponent off guard in regards to that unit, say not having enough strong ground forces or not having any air. As you can see here, that research finished perfectly here, and all my gates go out at the same time. So the gates are done, the barrier is pretty much destroyed, and I'm going to be making my push. sending out my probe now to put down that proxy pylon. At this point in the game, I usually would try to get some form of higher tech, maybe like a Robo or maybe a Stargate, just to bolster my forces and safeguard against anything my opponent does. But in fact, I've chosen to opt for the expansion. This is usually a bit too early for an expansion to go down, but as this is Amateur League, I thought it'd be a good idea to get some more gas, get some more minerals, and just, in case he's trying to go for high tech, be able to pump out some relevant units to just try and stop that. As you can see here, I didn't know there was another wall here, another error on my part, as this was in actuality my first game ever. So bear with me here for a second. I've got to take out this wall and then go put down a proxy pylon, and then I can do my push. So I put down another pylon. Again, pylons are essential both for power and keeping your unit cap available. So the Nexus is nearly done. The pylon is nearly done, and my base is flourishing basically. As I said before, I could maybe put down some high tech, but in this game, to showcase how the importance of the 4-gate push basically is, it's fine, I don't really need anything. So I start chrono boosting out probes. Like I said before, chrono boost is your friend, use it. So down goes the obstacle, and my probe's coming in to put down the proxy pylon. Usually you would try to get relevant probes from your main and go to your expansion, which I'm doing somewhat effectively here, and then boost out some more, but I didn't really do it, which is another fault on my part. I did a quick scout and saw that he had a starport out, so once I get my warp pylon down, I will try to get out some stalkers in case he has banshees or possibly even some Vikings. But the importance of this, the only real fault with this strat is that you can't really combat anything higher up the tech tree. Sure, you can maybe safeguard for a while with your core units, as well, core units are the core and the base of any good army, but if he gets some higher tech and goes for like a quick BC or something, you can just get decimated really easily with this strategy. So as you can see, the warp pylon's going down, and I just have to wait until that goes down, until I can do my push, and hopefully it will be effective in catching him off guard and winning the game. As you can see here, putting down another assimilator. Depending on what type of higher tech you're going for as Protoss, depends on how many assimilators you go. If you're just doing a standard 4 Warpgate, just put one on each base. But if you're going for something gas intensive like Colossi or something, then it might be a good idea to put down 2 assimilators. As you can see here, I have started my push. As you can see, I noticed that he had a Banshee out, so I quickly warped in 3 more Stalkers and a Sentry in hopes of defending against any range he has. So as you can see, his main force has just been decimated here by the quick push from the pylon. He's got a tank out, but at this point it's really not going to do anything. And you just basically get to lay waste to his base, as once his main force is gone, he won't, unless he's got like a lot of barracks up with a lot of reactors, he won't be able to get out anything nearly fast enough to combat this. So pushing in with more units, you basically just keep pushing in until he gives away. And as you can see here, he is about to call GG, and there we go. He leaves the game. Hopefully, I've demonstrated through this game the effectiveness of the 4 Warpgate push. So, just in summary, 9 pylon, 12 gate, 14 assimilator, put down a second gate once you get your cybernetic core up, then put down another 2 while you start researching Warpgate at your cybernetic core. And once that's done, build a proxy pylon near your opponent's base. You may want to do that beforehand if you're scouting. And then just warp in a lot of units and try to throw him off guard and take his base with a quick rush. Hopefully, I will be uploading more Protoss videos to Jack's Amateur StarCraft League, and we can help become better Protoss players together.